Today I'm talking to Rob Curtin. He's a broker and real estate agent in Melbourne, Australia. He owns a few brokerages out there and is expanding and dominating his market. Rob says it's the little things that send the big message. We're going to talk about that, what he means by that, and how he dominated his market with that. Thanks for listening to the Jere Metcalf podcast, where top real estate agents tell how they do it. This podcast is to share knowledge for realtors and raise awareness for Give Back Homes, where real estate professionals work together for social good. Jet Centers Aviation, Bentley Atlanta, Legends Global, thank you for your sponsorship. All right, everybody, this is Rob Curtin joining me on my podcast. Rob, thanks for joining us today. Rob is a top broker in Melbourne, Australia. He owns the Peninsula Sotheby's in Australia. He's located in Melbourne, Australia, and has been in the business since he was 18 years old in 1985. I'm going to stop there and let you fill us in the blanks, Rob, on how you started in the business. I know you took a quick break, learned a lot about customer service, and got back into it.
Yeah, thanks, Jere. Well, it was straight out of school. I went into real estate. It was a profession that always interested me. My father was a horse trainer, so a lot of his leading clients were in the property business, and it was the fancy cars and the nice suits that originally attracted me into it. I was also a top golfer in those days, but it was a very competitive sport, and one of my dad's clients suggested that I could do both real estate and golf, but I couldn't necessarily do golf and real estate. So
you find that out when you get in the business.
That was the precursor to making a decision that maybe I should focus more heavily on the real estate side than spending every day on the golf course. So that's where the intro into real estate started. And
you started at 18. So you're in Australia, but I would assume you guys are in school for the same. So you mean straight out of high school, you hit the ground running and got into real estate.
Very, very much so. Straight. Nearly the day I finished school, I started banging on doors trying to get a real estate job. I had a few contacts in the business, and like many agents or brokers that start off, they wanted me to start off in the rental department doing rentals, but rentals never lit my fire. I was always very ambitious to get into sales, and was lucky enough to get in with a brokerage firm that was very young and aggressive, and only one office in those days. They were a couple of guys that had just left a big agency and started their own, and today that agency, 30 years later, is one of Victoria's biggest real estate groups. So I was lucky enough to come in at ground level with a company that was kicking some goals, very disruptive in the market back in 1985, where Sunday opens and auctions weren't the done thing. It was very much a business where it was a 6-day-a-week business, not a 7-day-a-week business, which we all know it is today. Took advantage of being in the right spot at the right time.
So when you got into real estate, you said you golfed for a while, and it was golf for real estate, but you started pretty early on. It sounds like you decided pretty early on it was going to be golf. I mean, real estate, not golf. Was that at 18?
Yeah, well, golf's a very professional golf, or any sport's very competitive at the highest level. So it was, just deciding that maybe I wasn't going to be good enough to make a really good living out of the sport. And, at sort of 17 or 18, if you haven't really put your stamp on the international stage at that level, you realise that you maybe it might be better chosen to find a career that still allows you to play a little bit.
Exactly. I think a lot of us end up in this business that way. We still get to play, and sometimes it's more fun. I know I started I was a horse trainer, and I'd spent a lot of days working really hard, not making much money, with a lot of exposure to money and a lot of time by myself. And I realized I'm not really sure why am I doing this, and I'm a little bit like you in that. But I want to talk about you started at 18. How quickly how did that first 5 years of success come for you? Because I know at the age of 23, were successful enough. I don't know if you were successful enough or crazy enough or a little bit of both to start your own real estate business at 23 years old. So how did that happen?
Yeah, well, as I said, sort of joining a firm that was very aggressive with two. Well, I was a sort of third salesman on there, but very quickly that brand became a very big business, and I was sort of dragged up in the vortex of their success. So their success was also mine. So it enabled me very quickly to get a name for myself, which, as you know, in this business and the networking side of things is all important, and getting your confidence up where people also feel as vendors or sellers that you have the experience to handle their home. So because my name was on many boards in those early years, I had a profile that was probably a lot higher than what most people would have in their first early years in real estate. But so, good training, good company, 7 days a week, hard work, although it doesn't seem when you're talking about it now. 5 years down the track, it seemed like I'd had a lot of experience 5 years down the track, working 7 days a week to venture into my own business. But look, it still goes today. That company still operates today. So probably crazy to have a crack at it, but it was a great experience for me to running your own business is one thing as far as making sales, but there's a lot of other things that go behind the scenes of funding and operating a business. So that was a great experience.
So a couple things I want to touch on real quickly on the beginning of your career and then get to where you are now. So while we're talking for a couple more minutes about the beginning of your career, you came in ground level with a company that was new and young. It was a lot of hard work and a little bit of luck. What would you say, just for people listening that are either working on getting a new, finding out how can I stand out? How can I leverage my unique advantage and get it in front of people? How did you do that in your early years to become so successful so quickly? And along, as well as who you were with, but there had to be something about you that you had that other people didn't, that advice you would share to other people in the business.
Yeah, well, I think, look, all these things seem to reinvent themselves. We talk about today, disrupting the market in technology and all these sort of, new age businesses. But, when I look back in 85, we were disrupting the market in real estate. It was a business that was pretty much hadn't had too many changes. Australian real estate operates a little bit differently to American real estate.
Which I'm excited to talk about. Yeah.
We sort of represent the sellers. We don't represent buyers. But as I said previously to you a second ago, Sunday was a day of rest in most industries, including real estate. We didn't have the internet back then. Customer service was we relied on print media. We didn't have the coverage that we have today. So it was about being out on the street as often as you could.
Being out there and available when the competition wasn't, and you worked on Sunday.
Yeah, we worked on Sunday. Our boards were out, so just that visual presence for a start was the biggest thing. People would see you putting out the boards early in the morning on Sunday morning while people were walking their dogs in the local community. That started. That just those little things. Believe it, they might be subliminal messages, but they're very strong.
It's the little things that can send a big message.
Correct. And those were the things that just started the ball rolling. And then, it was just, and of course, the more boards you have up, the more momentum you get up. When I started my business, we would do things, we'd put the ads upside down in the print media, which drove the publicists mad, having our ads upside down. But,
that's awesome.
It worked.
Just disrupt your market. Yeah.
Well, it was just little things. We just did little things that would just get people talking, but you had to follow it up, with obviously good results as well. There's nothing better from a real estate perspective and a salesman and an agency to actually go into a listing presentation where you've actually sold something for a good price. And when people see record prices and new records being achieved, that again creates a great underpinning for your personal performance and also that of the agency that you represent.
So touching on price, that's a great topic. There's a lot of training in our industry. It's just the price. You got to reduce the price. And you're talking about selling houses for better prices. What's any insight you've got on that, on getting houses to sell for more money than other agents do?
Yeah, look, we could probably talk about this for hours. I mean, this year alone was a great example for the agents in our firm. We probably sold about $50 or $60 million worth of real estate that were previously listed homes with other agents, and I think that pricing is critical to ensure the timing of the listing. Probably 1/3 of our listings come from second time round agencies, so the sellers have moved on from their original appointment of an agent to a second agent, and sometimes you're better off coming in second, which is very, very hard for an eager agency or an eager agent to let a property go, because it's in our DNA to try and capture that listing and represent the client first off. But if the vendor's too high or another agent's promising too much money, then sometimes you have to walk away. So our selling is in our listing. We're very, very harsh on making sure that the properties that we take on can achieve the price that the vendor's expectations are set at. And technology today allows agents, and there's no excuse for poor valuations where we know what all the comps are, we know what can be achieved, we know the buyers in the marketplace, and listing a house that's 15 or 20% or even higher over the market worth is just wasting your time and actually probably devaluing your brand in the process. So we're very critical on making sure that our sales start at getting the listings at the right price, and then if you've listed them at the right price, then you can create competition among buyers to actually exceed the vendor's expectations, and sometimes create new sales records for not only the area but also the street. So it's the pricing starts very much at the listing presentation.
Wow. And I have so many questions for you about your marketing, because your marketing is absolutely unbelievable. We've met and talked about all of the outside the box things you do, but to get some insight into that, you purchased you took a break and changed your career in 1995 and worked for one of the world's biggest casinos in marketing. Tell us just a little bit about that and what you learned from that, and then how you went from that back into real estate. And kind of walk us through that, what you learned from that and how you got out and back into real estate.
Yeah, well, 95, I left real estate, and that was just through a partnership disagreement with the business that I started. And these things happen. So, in that little period of looking to move on to another agency, one of my clients, who was a very big property developer, had just bought the Melbourne casino license. And Crown today is you would know James Packer, no doubt in the media circles in the US, dating Mariah Carey. But the Crown Casino Group is Crown Resorts is one of the biggest casino companies in the world. So they'd won the license for Melbourne, and then that was building the biggest casino in the Southern Hemisphere, and a very exciting project, not only for Melbourne but for the casinos around the world. So the opportunity was given to me to join one of the original marketing teams to basically, and I knew nothing about casinos, obviously, but it was more a trusting thing that I had the relationship with the chairman of the group, that I could go out and do tasks, and as part of that process was taught by some of the best marketers that were mainly US, that were brought from Las Vegas over to Melbourne to help build the casino. So I worked for some of the best marketeers in the world, learning of the casino business. But the casino business is very much about customer service, particularly at the high-end high rollers. It's about servicing these people and making sure that the point of difference over what was Melbourne's casino was greater than the services offered for high rollers at other casino venues around the world. So, and it's a very competitive space. So, as part of that training, I learned, the value of innovation, the things that people weren't doing, the customer relationship management systems that were in place to make sure that we're hopeful that all your listeners are using to control their buyers and sellers. And that these sorts of things weren't available when I started in real estate, but when I took away from my casino business the value of innovation and marketing, it enormously helped after my 12 years in that business to come back to real estate. And my choice to real estate was only the fact that I just got married and I had a baby on the way, and I didn't want to live in the hustle and bustle of the city anymore in Melbourne, and moved down to a place down on the Mornington Peninsula, which is about an hour and 20 minutes drive, sort of a Hamptons version of sort of New York, sort of that sort of holiday retreat for the Melbourne's sort of social, wealthy set.
You were a top broker from 18 to 23 until 23 years old. You started your own business in 2010. Not 2010. What year did you step out? 1995, you stepped out and stepped back in 2010. And tell us about, we're talking about marketing innovation, which is really one of the things that gets me excited. When I see how you do things, I think I'm innovative. I think I've seen people who are innovative. And then you just take it to a whole new level. Share with us, I think a lot of that is some of that you tell me, maybe being Australian and the culture that you guys are, the market that you're in, or tell me what it is. Is it from the casinos, or tell us a little bit about where you got this amazing innovation from and what you're doing now?
Yeah, well, I think it's all complementary. We take a lot of stuff from the US as well. I mean, the US, you guys sort of fund a lot of your advertising, and we don't. Our vendors pay our advertising, and your staging is something that we've taken on very seriously. Most agents here for a long time haven't presented houses the way that you guys do in the US.
Mm-hmm.
But the video, we were sort of first to market with video content. We saw the value in video content and in giving customers sort of a walkthrough of the homes via sort of dynamic content was an important thing. Our photography, we have an internal stylist that works for us full time in our team. So when we have inspection, our brokers have teams. The team. We don't just turn up at the house with a person waiting out the front. Our stylist will get in there a few hours beforehand, make sure the house is heated or air conditioned according to the weather, make sure that all the blinds are open and the lights on. There's nothing worse than seeing an agent, and it happens here in our town. As I said, I live sort of in a resort town where it's sort of busy on weekends and in holiday seasons, and and a lot of the brokers here are sort of ex-real estate agents come to retire and do a little bit of real estate and a little bit of golf and tennis and lawn bowls, where when I decided to take on this business, I saw a huge opportunity for someone to bring some fresh blood into the system, and that's why I think we became number one in less than 12 months, because people could see that we were doing things that the other agents weren't. But watching a buyer standing outside the house and seeing a broker turn up and open up the front door and the buyers following them in while they turn their alarm system off, and then running around pulling up blinds, it's just totally unacceptable for a Sotheby's agent. Our stylists will get there, make sure that the flowers are in the house. As I said, the house warmed up or cooled accordingly, and making sure if there's something wrong with the house, because a lot of our owners aren't owner occupiers, they're not down, so the houses aren't lived in. So that's always a challenge for us. And just doing the little things that the agents aren't, making sure that our ads are up to date. None of our ads will stay the same for more than 2 weeks. Our competition, some of their ads, their hero shots that they've got on their advertising on the internet have been the same hero shot for 7 months of the same copy. If it's not working after 7 months, then there's something wrong.
So, and you're not only talking about for your brokerage, you're talking about for your listings. You're constantly changing the ads and the way the listings are positioned and marketed every couple of weeks.
Absolutely, yeah, and styled, changing furniture around, making sure it looks fresh. With the videos that we get 3 or 4 minute videos, and then we only display sort of 30 odd, 40 odd seconds of that video, but that allows us to swap and change the videos around after. Our listings on average are around sort of 60 to 90 days before they're sold here.
Okay.
Does a little bit longer than what they are, sort of 4-week period in Melbourne. So our listings do tend to stay around a little bit longer, but that's.
So you guys are even on your video marketing, you guys are creating videos, but you're taking different increments of, you're doing, maybe you'll take 5 minutes of footage and put together 30 seconds 1 week, another 30 seconds 2 weeks later, another 30 seconds, another 2 weeks later, to keep giving fresh looks at the house.
Correct.
That's a great concept. There's nobody that I've seen do that in the United States.
Well, I've seen you do it with your videos.
Well, of course, me, except me. And Isaac's sitting here pointing at me. No, Jerry, you do that because I do all your videos.
I follow you.
Oh, good.
Yeah, well, that's another conversation again. As far as the social media, that's continuing to grow. Like I'm not a Facebook follower at all. I know I'm probably too old for that now.
Your Instagram.
I believe that's for everyone else. But I do Instagram and I feed it across to Facebook. But a couple of we're a premium agency. Sotheby's, as you know, is a high-end agency, and we do take on. I know a lot of other Sotheby's agents around the world take on sort of lower value listings, but we're very strict on properties that we represent. And
which is another different way of doing things. There are a lot of agents at Sotheby's.
Well, it's a point of difference straight away when people refer in our market down here to Sotheby's. They know that Sotheby's is a premium agency, and I often have sellers ring me and say, look, it's probably not a Sotheby's house. Well, straight away I know that I've got that listing because, that when I tell them that I want their listing, they feel honoured that, or privileged that we're prepared to take them on. And buyers know when we put a board up that it must be a good property because Sotheby's have taken on, and that's a huge point of difference to our competition, which just works very well for us.
That's brilliant. That's brilliant. And so, what were you going to say? And then I was going to ask you a question.
I was going to say something. I was just talking about the social media side of it. But that Instagram, when I started, there's a bit of a bit of fun than anything. Sort of 7 months ago, or maybe no, it's actually longer than that now. It's probably been a lot bigger in 7 months. But about 7 months ago, one of my team had sold a house to someone that had a smaller house that they wanted to sell. And I said, look, I don't want to take that house on. It's not in the street that I want. And we sort of palm them off to sort of agencies we have a good relationship with. I put it on our social media, on our Instagram, and said off-market transaction. And within 3 hours, we had the house sold straight off Instagram. Someone had seen it, told a friend, they called us, and we sold it straight off Instagram. So it never actually hit the market. So
that's amazing.
I think social media marketing is going to. It's already happening.
It's already huge. What do you have any strategies or techniques other than just awesome listings and an awesome market presence that you're gaining followers from? Is it the market presence and then the followers that came, or was it the followers and then the presence, or is it a combination of both?
I think it's a combination of both. I try with Instagram. We've all got necessarily.
Yeah, you're breaking up a little bit. Get close to the microphone. You there, Rob?
Yeah.
Hey, Rob.
Yeah, it's just the internet. I try to make it. Yeah, you there?
Yeah, I can hear you now. You were breaking up.
Yeah, Australian internet is nothing like the US. I have to say, it's very, very poor cousin. But look, I don't think there's any right ways to do. I think you try and make it a little bit personal without making it too family orientated. Just make it real, as in the agent as much as the agency. Give your followers. We don't chase followers. We just let them come organically. But just let people think that you're real, and there is someone behind the page rather than the post, rather than just a pretty photo of a house every day. But yeah, we just try and make photos as good as we can, as interesting, keep people updated on new listings, not necessarily always our own, but just I don't think there's I don't have a fixed strategy. Sometimes I might be like
it's authentic. I think it's good stuff, good real stuff, good results, authenticity, and that's what people want to see anyway. And another thing I want to tap into, I think you forget just how innovative you are. We met probably 6 months ago, and some of the stuff you do was amazing. Like we already talked about signs upside down. The little things it's the little things that go a long way. Nobody else worked on Sundays. Your brokerage worked on Sundays. That created it's just, what are the little things nobody else is doing that we can do? And something that I remember you talking about that you have, and I don't know if it's now a common practice in your market, but you will hold a house open for 30 minutes or an hour to generate interest. Everybody knows they've got to be there. You have to open houses at 12 o'clock. They show up at 12 o'clock so they can see it, and it generates more traffic into one listing. Talk a little bit about that and give us some more examples of what you're doing.
Yeah, we play with our open times. I mean, again, we remain very dynamic. So that's the number one word in this firm. I just encourage everyone that works here just to remain dynamic. You don't. You got to sell houses. You don't wait for someone to buy them, and that's where most agencies fall down. If you're selling them and doing things to create interest and create buyers, then you'll be successful. If you just put an ad in the paper or a board on a property and expect to sell it, that's when you're going to get trounced by your opposition. So, for instance, our average inspection time is 45 minutes. That's what every agent does down here. Has an open house for 45 minutes and does it on normally a Saturday and sometimes a Sunday. We find sometimes at certain times of the year the Sundays are better days than Saturdays because people have school sports in town, so our Saturday performances are bad. So we will make sure that the following week we open up on a Sunday. If we know we've got a keen buyer coming, that's coming back maybe for a second inspection, we might shorten inspection times to 15 minutes. So we try and encourage other buyers to turn up, or half an hour, try and encourage some more people to turn up while that person's inspecting the house to create some competition. So, there's no hard and fast rules. It's all online now, so it's not like you're stuck with a print media schedule where, you're locking in your ad 3 or 4 weeks out and you've got a fixed time where you can't change. We often change our times because I don't think people really check when they're going out on a Saturday or a Sunday. They'll grab their iPad and they will look at their sort of the online schedules on their iPad and then work their house inspections out according to that. So we're very dynamic with that. Our pointer boards, for instance, I'm sure you stick them out on the corner of a street with an open sign. We have ours tailor-made. So most of our signs for every house that we've listed, we will go away and have the hero shot of that house printed onto our open board.
Wow.
With the Sotheby's brand. So when people drive past it, they don't just see, Sotheby's or, with an open sign and maybe a time, they actually see a photo of the house that we're representing. So not only is that great for the house, but it's great for the agency's profile as well. So, they're just little things other agents couldn't be bothered with doing. Yes, it does take a little bit of effort. You've got to get the boards off. You've got to go pick them up. They're bigger than your standard board, so they take up more room in your card. But it's just they're all those little things. We have doormats when it rains.
Oh, that's right.
Turning out, ask them to take their feet off, so they wipe their feet on the Sotheby's doormat.
Oh, that's brilliant.
And just all the little things. Again, I think I said before, a lot of these messages are subliminal, but you just got to get out there and do the little things that the other agents aren't doing. And just one thing will add up, and eventually, when someone goes to sell their house, they'll remember that they saw me out wiping graffiti off a board that had been texted by
exactly
vandalised. They see the agent doing it rather than someone that they don't represent. They don't recognise. So
exactly,
it's just all those little things, Jerry.
Well, it's just, I think everybody's looking for the next big idea, and they're trying so hard to think of these big ideas to be the big agent, and it's really just it's the big things are in the little things. It's in the details, and it's in the details of what you do and how you do it. And over time, the effect of that is beyond, especially just looking at what you've done, it's beyond exponential. When you've got over 50% of market share in your market, and you don't even take every listing that comes your way, that's huge. That's powerful. And it's a result of the big things are in the little things.
Yeah.
The big results are in the little, in the details.
The key thing is you need to represent each client. I mean, I think the biggest problem successful agents have is they get too big and they start to, the people, the older listings get dropped off.
Mm-hmm.
When we write our own copy, so we sit down as a team, we go through the copy, and you write it, each copy as if it was your own house. So you really try and highlight. I've just seen so many, you read agents' copies go on real estate websites and everyone's just plagiarised everyone else's ad.
Yes.
All they've wanted to do is get it off their desk and get it online and not really thought about what a buyer's going to need to see to try and spark their interest. And copy's an awful thing. It's probably my pet hate. I hate it more than doing anything. And sometimes it takes a day or 2 days to actually get genuine copy that would actually inspire someone to read it. And it doesn't have to be too long, but you've got to. Is that for me, or is that you another sale?
That's us. Yeah, you're okay.
So it's those little things, and also recognizing that photography today, most people are seeing it on their iPad. So what people might see on their big screen on their desktop is not necessarily the photo that people will see
capturing.
On their iPad. So,
you tell me, and we're going to take a break in a couple of minutes, but just capturing their attention with the angle of the shot that you take and the way you make one piece stand out next to the rest and what's in focus and what's in not, and things like that capture people's eye. I know I think about what I'm doing when I'm on social media or when I'm looking online and what gets my attention and how can we position our houses and ourselves and in our market to do the same thing.
Yeah, well, I think we're going to invest at that. But as I said, I've talked about our stylists beforehand, and I've learned an enormous lot in 31 years in this business, and still learning today. When Danielle will show me on her iPad a photo of a room, and I'll look at it and she'll go, "What's standing out in that photo to you?" And I'll go, "I don't know what's standing out. It's a lovely, beautiful couch." She'll go, "No, the mirror or the statue is dominating the photo.
Mm-hmm.
It has to go."
Wow.
Little things like that, and changing a room around exactly the same angle, and 2 little tweaks to a room can just completely change exactly what the eye, particularly as I said, I don't know what your statistics are in the States, but we're 70% now. Our statistics, 70% of people looking at real estate on mobile devices.
Exactly. It's. I think it may be. It may be even more than that here, or it's probably the same. So. We're going to take a break on that. Yeah, exactly. It's just, I think the big message I keep getting from you, and it's reminding me, is really, really take a look at the little things right under your nose that are going to create for us exponential success.